Hello and welcome. It's Gabrielle of Jim Jameson's Wellness, as well as her energy. I decided to come on video and record my life in this very moment. So this is very unplanned. This is very raw and authentic. I don't like the ideal of being a content creator. I'm not an influencer. I'm simply a human being serving whatever purpose God has allowed me to serve while here on earth. And with that, it means that not everyone is going to resonate with my presence, my being. And I'm okay with that. And for the ones who do gravitate towards the things that I share, hope that you find something that you can receive and use in a way that serves you well. This setting is like it is because upon my return home from work, my power was out. And it's not because I haven't paid the bill. However, I do know that is someone's story. I don't know why it's out. It's not raining anymore, however it was. And I felt a sense of safety despite because my daughter is over to my mother's house. And so I said, well, at least she's not here where it's a little uncomfortable. And then my mom tells me that her power is out. And that bothers me because my daughter is my number one concern when it comes to anything that I do, any actions that I take, any thoughts, any plans that I make. And so although it's a bit uncomfortable to be sitting without power, it's hot, the window is open, it's a bit cooler outside than it is on the inside. That's okay. I can deal with that. I've been without power before. My phone is needing to be recharged soon, and I don't have any outlets to charge that. However, with that, I know that I have options. I know that if I really needed to, I can take my phone to my car and I can charge it up. Before it gets too late, I also know that I have the option to maybe go to a Starbucks or a place of business and charge it up to full. That way it will at least be with me until the morning, and I could easily get off of my phone and not use it. So the reason I say that is because when one is faced with some type of situation, whether it be high traumatic or low trauma to that person, trauma has a way of blocking the mind and causing the mind to think that there are no other options. And this is as simple as no power right now, but this can really translate into other things in life. But since we're on this situation here, this scenario, this is what we're going to work with. And hopefully you find something from it. So, as you all may know, I am a meditation, mindfulness, yoga, and MBSR instructor. So I have learn about many tools and resources that can help me in different situations. It can help ease the stress. It can help me to navigate discomfort. And although to one looking on at me on the outside, depending on what scenario I'm in, they can say Gabby is undisturbed or emotionally absent. And I assure you that it is not who I am. If anything, I am very emotionally open. I'm very emotionally aware. And just because my actions do not show that sometimes does not mean that I'm not experiencing emotions. And neither will I attempt to show others emotions outwardly just to prove that I am, in fact, feeling emotions. I have worked hard to get here. I have taken a tremendous amount of courses, classes, training. And this is who I am right now in this space. So to dive a little bit deeper, how am I feeling? And I ask this question to you as well, if you are willing and would like to participate. Well, I can easily share how I am hot. I am uncomfortable. I am uncertain on when this situation will improve. I can say that I am worried. I can say that I am sad and even angry. So as you can see, there is a multitude of emotions that can sit with a person. There's a multitude of feelings. And within those, one also has sensations that occur in the body. So if we speak about sensations, I can say that sporadically my heart double beats. My chest feels a little hollow. My spirit feels a little down. And so looking at a person, you may not be able to tell what they are going through. And this is why it's very important to be kind to another person. Because what reason would you have to be unkind? For me, I don't think a person, which I often see this happening. I see someone treating someone unkind, and then when they realize, oh, I didn't realize they had all that going on, and then they attempt to say, well, forgive my behavior. Well, there shouldn't be a reason why you should treat someone kind. You should simply treat them kindly. So this is why I choose to show up in the way that I choose to show up, and that is one of my core values, which is kindness, even if it's not returned. And as you can see, this is how things develop, where you take one subject matter and then it goes to something else. By first identifying the feeling or the emotion, you can then track that to a sensation in the body. And then by becoming aware of your sensations in your body, it can inform you of things. And it's not always needed for you to figure it out. Sometimes it just wants you to sit with it, whatever that is, and to hold it gently and kindly without judging it, with a sense of acceptance, ensuring that you are focusing or becoming aware of what is there. Maybe you name it. Maybe you don't know a name. For now, simply call it whatever you want to call it. And as you continue to do the practice, you will become more and more familiar with whatever this thing is. And it's also helpful to be in community with like-minded individuals who have experienced these things as well, who may be able to share with you what they've experienced, share with you thoughts, feelings, emotions, and then you may be able to learn from that. That is why the power of community is so healing. And so yet again, you're going to watch this video, especially if you've made it this far. I mean, it's 11 minutes in now. Then if you are quiet enough, you may receive some gems from this video. If you want different, you have to do something different. You cannot continue to say that you don't like the current life that you're living when you're not doing anything to change it. And the wisdom comes in that sometimes there is nothing you can do. However, when you sit still, that truth becomes more evident. So if there is something that you can change, pray, meditate, speak it. That you have the courage to do so. But also the wisdom to know whether or not this is something that needs to be changed or something you just need to sit with. Trust me, there is a method to my madness. I am a loving guide. I can help guide you. I create spaces where one can express themselves without judgment and become self-aware through mindfulness, meditation, and self-care practices. Which aids them towards healing and transformation. If you have ever experienced me, you may have mixed feelings. You may have been triggered. And then with consistent exposure to me, you may have been changed. In a positive way. If you really know me and you've really experienced me, then you can say if that is a valid statement. If you do not, then I ask, do you have the courage to sit with whatever I show you, because I'm simply a mirror? And I'll hold space for you gently. And I understand that this may be a little bit too much for some. So we may want to get out of the deep waters and go and make it a little bit more superficial on the surface. And that's okay too. When we do that, then I say, hey, let's practice mindfulness. Let's practice mindfulness. Let's breathe. Let's just sit for just a moment of time, just a brief period. It does not have to be long. It does not have to be deep. I am a deep person. However, we can bring it back to the top. So if you're willing and ready, let's just do a brief guided meditation. You can sit comfortably. Number one, ensure you're not operating any heavy equipment. That includes driving. Now that disclaimer is out there, let's sit in a comfortable position, allowing the spine to be tall and upright. Not so rigid, but sitting with integrity. You may also do this lying down. However, if you are a bit sleepy, you may have a tendency to go to sleep, and that's okay. Because maybe it's your body telling you that you're tired. So, let's do it. I don't know how long this meditation is going to be. This is definitely raw and impromptu. So just allow yourself space. Be open-minded and curious about whatever shows up for you. You may close the eyes or soften the gaze. Breathe with me. Breathing in through the nose, exhaling out. Breathing at your own pace, not attempting to change the pace at all. As we transition into this practice, just simply becoming aware of any bodily sensations. If you would like, you can follow along, starting at the feet, noticing if the feet are flat onto the earth's surface below, or maybe they're floating in the air. Noticing the temperature, maybe they're warm, maybe they're a bit cool and chilly. Moving your awareness now to the lower leg. Are there any sensations in this area? Moving up to the knees. Maybe there's a bit of tenderness here. Maybe there's a bit of swelling, or maybe they're just simply there. Everyone's experience is going to be different. Moving up to the thighs. Just feeling if there are any sensations of neutrality. Or maybe there is a charge here, and maybe you feel tightness from a workout previously. Or maybe they feel a bit stagnant from sitting all day. I invite you now to move up towards the pelvis. Noticing any sensations, tightness, Allow us now to reach the belly, the lower back, maybe there's tightness, discomfort, soreness in the lower back. In the belly, maybe there's a sense of fullness if you've eaten a meal. Maybe there's a sense of emptiness if you've not eaten. Taking a moment to just sit with that, whatever's here, and holding it with a sense of gentleness. Key word here is gentleness. As though you were holding a newborn, or you were present for a friend. There's no need to change. Just simply become aware. Moving now up the spine, noticing if there's a tingle or electricity. Moving up and down the spine. Moving outward to the upper back and the shoulders. Bringing awareness now to the chest. Noticing how it rises and falls with each breath. Moving now to the upper shoulders and the neck. Maybe there's tension, heaviness. Now bringing full awareness to the face, maybe around the eye sockets, maybe the eyebrow crease, maybe the cheeks or the jaws. And finally, the top of the crown of the head. Taking a moment now to sit with the new information in which you've just been informed about. Maybe you noticed there were some areas that were calling for a little bit more attention. Maybe you noticed a discomfort or an inability to feel any sensation in the area. So now you have the opportunity to bring your focus on any point in your body that you choose. If it's an area that's calling for your attention, I invite you, as you breathe in, allowing the oxygen to fill into your lungs, moving down into the space that is calling for your attention. And as you release, notice yourself softening. Notice yourself easing and allowing, surrendering. Inhale, breathe deeply, moving energy down towards this particular spot of your choosing. Staying there for a moment before acknowledging it, releasing. Maybe at this point there are thoughts that are beginning to arise within your mind. Noise, chatter. Maybe the thoughts are a bit judgmental. Maybe they're critical. Maybe they're about things you must do in the future or things you've done in the past. All of that is normal. As you move from this space of attention, I now invite you to bring your awareness to the chest. Do you notice the breath? Notice the area of the breath pathway that is most strongest or more intense for you. And I invite you to bring your awareness and focus on that particular space. So as you inhale, it enters in through the nostrils, down the throat, into the lungs, expanding as it reverses and leaves out of the trachea, back out, choosing either the mouth or the nose. So along this path, identify a point of the breath in which it is the most able to be noticed. And continue to focus on this. And each time your mind begins to wander off into la la land, I invite you to simply bring the awareness back to the breath, an area along the pathway that is most intense. And again, it is okay if you do this many, many times. You may do so as many times as you need to, because this is the act of practicing mindfulness. Again, gently bring your awareness back to the area of the breathing pathway each and every time your mind begins to wander. I invite you now to gently bring your awareness back into the body, maybe focusing on the feet. Maybe bringing awareness to the sits bone or the placement of your hands. Maybe tap the fingertips together. Do a neck roll or neck stretch. Or gently bring both arms reaching up towards the ceiling, stretching tall. Leaning to the right side to stretch the left side of the body. Maybe coming back up. Leaning towards the left to stretch the right side of the body. Coming back up. Allowing the hands to come down gently and with ease. An invitation to open the eyes when you are ready. And a reminder to be very gentle with yourself, with whatever may have appeared for you or been revealed in this practice, and also potentially in life in the next couple of days. I am a loving guide, so you can always reach out to me on either of my pages, Jim Jamison Wellness or Her Energy, and we can consult and work on a plan that may be appropriate for you. If you have any questions, or if you would like to deepen your practice. Maybe you receive some gems from today. Maybe you receive a little bit of calmness, relaxation, or sleep. Whatever you felt, I invite you to leave it down in the comment section or leave a review. And until next time, wishing each of you peace, love, and transformation.